the span of like a month, we went from, it would be really nice to have a retail space, to we have a retail space. The kind of space you don't feel like you have to spend money. You can go and hang out and just kind of exist.
I like that. You going in?
Sure.
Cheers. We have to make the noise when you drink the tea, right?
Sure.
That is really good. Is there bones in it?
There's bones in it. It's 30 to 50% bones.
Human bones? I don't know if I could go back to regular tea now.
You shouldn't.
I don't think I should. I want to get some homemade tea bags there, fill it up, make some mint tea, and my belly would never hurt again. Welcome to Food Fight. I'm your host, Brian DiMattei. We are here in the Food Fight production studios in Kingston, Pennsylvania. And I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors who make all this happen. First up is Genoa Wholesale Foods in Plains, Pennsylvania, Carly's Fairy Tale Dog Groomers in Pittston, Pennsylvania on Main Street, and then my good buddy and training partner, Tommy W. Munley from Munley Law. His office is in Scranton on Vine Street. If you slip on a banana peel, give Tommy a call. He'll take good care of you. Today in the studio, we have a great guest. It's going to educate me on something that I grew up with, but didn't really know much about until did some research. We have Rylee Gavlick from Teasperience. Discover a world of exquisite flavors and premium blends at teasperience.com. Rylee, welcome to Food Fight.
Thank you.
You are welcome. What'd you bring with it? What'd you bring today?
I brought a variety of teacups and a handful of herbal teas. You said you liked orange.
Yes.
So I made sure to bring an orange tea.
Yes. Everything looks great. So tell us real fast, and we'll get into a little bit more because I'm curious, how much work goes into making these tea leaves that are inside here?
A lot of work.
I bet.
Especially for regular black, white, and green teas, there's a very long process that it goes through before it ever gets to us. At least for the herbal teas, it's a little bit easier because it's mostly just dried fruit. Like this one is orange, hibiscus, rose hips. So this is more of a regular, easy process.
Okay.
White, black, and green teas and oolong teas all come from the same plant.
All right.
They're just processed differently. So there's heating, drying, rolling. I believe there's one other step in the process. And the green tea is the least processed out of all of them. Okay.
Green tea is probably one of the most popular too, right?
Yes.
So we're going to get into a little bit more. That was a quick summary, but we're going to get into, let's talk about a food fight, all right? Because this is going to be the ultimate food fight in history. 1773, the Sons of Liberty dumped British tea into the Boston Harbor, escalating tensions that contributed to the American Revolution. Tea was more than a drink. It was a symbol of power, wealth, and resistance, making it worth fighting for. How do you feel about your product that you supply to the Valley and all around the country was responsible for shaping this country? Think about the history of that.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Boston is one of my favorite cities. My tattoo that I have is of Boston.
I see that. I noticed that. That's great.
Thank you.
My cousin was in Boston. I have not been there yet. Someday.
Over the pandemic, I got involved with a group of people that did puzzle solving out of Boston, like with MIT. And so that was kind of my like COVID lifeline. Was to solve puzzles, and so I've been to Boston a few times, and it's a really great city. And one of our teas, actually, our gunpowder green tea, is a historical kind of tea. It's the same kind of tea that they had with the Boston Tea Party.
No shit.
It's called gunpowder tea because it's rolled into little pellets.
Okay.
So it looks like gunpowder.
Interesting. Did they make it that on purpose like that back in the day, you think? To disguise it? To disguise it? Like, that's not tea, that's gunpowder. It's where the tea is probably worth more than the gunpowder.
I don't know if it was to disguise it so much as it was to like get these like macho guys to drink tea.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was just telling you earlier about my episode from last week, that Food to PA with the root beer. So early 1900s, right? And these women's groups didn't like it. They didn't give it their endorsement because it had the word beer in it. But they put beer in it so people would drink it more. But then these women were like, no, we don't want our husbands doing this and drinking all this beer. Well, after some research and some whatever, they found out there was less alcohol in root beer than there was in bread. So they gave it the go-ahead, and root beer became a thing. So think about just the marketing going all the way back to 1700s to get people to drink tea.
Yeah.
Let's get these crazy maniacs that live to be 30 to drink some tea before they die.
Yeah.
You know?
There's always been marketing.
Always been marketing. Speaking of tea, you started to do the process here to make us some tea. We have some
Yes.
water on the table. We're gonna have a cup of tea. So you want me to pour the water?
No, not yet.
Okay. Oh, you put the tea bags in there?
Yes.
Okay. So what tea we having first? I asked you to bring some orange tea over.
Yes. So we're gonna do the spiced blood orange.
Okay. So how much? You started doing that before we were recording. I'm like, hold on. I wanna watch you do that. So how much do you put in there?
It's personal preference with the amount of water that we have. I'm gonna do like a little bit more than I normally would. And then these tea bags just cinch closed.
Are they're not reusable probably, right?
No,
Yeah,
but they're
so.
Like recycled paper.
And then just let it chill in there?
For a little bit.
And then we'll come back in a little bit. We're gonna let the tea. What exactly is the tea doing right now? There's a term for it, right?
Steeping.
Steeping.
Yep.
Steeping. Yes, steeping. I do enjoy. I love peppermint tea. If my belly's bothering me, that looks great. Is that open? Can I open this? Can I take a smell?
Yeah, you can open it and smell it.
When my belly's bothering me, peppermint tea, some good stuff.
We have a tea specifically for upset stomachs too, called Happy Belly.
That smells great. So let's get into a little background, Rylee. You are from the Valley.
I am
not
from the
Valley. The Valley. Because the Valley posted a post the other day about what's the best thing about the Valley. I'm like, the Valley. And someone corrected me like, DA, the Valley.
Yeah.
I understand. So how far do your roots go back to the Valley? Where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born, I believe, in Kingston. I grew up in Kingston. I've lived in a handful of different places in the Valley. I've lived in Wyoming and Dallas and Swearersville. But I always grew up here. I've gone to school here. My mom's side of the family is from Oregon, so she moved here.
Interesting.
So she's a transplant, but my dad is from Ashley, so he grew up here.
So I'm a Wyoming Valley transplant. I grew up in Old Forge.
Okay.
So like Old Forge is still the Valley. People can't say it's not because there's mountains everywhere, you know. But I lived in I moved to Kingston about just under 3 years ago, and then I used to live around Bennett Street. Now I moved here to the studio place where I live now. And I just love this area. When I initially had to move and find a new place about 7 months ago, I'm like, I either want to go back to Old Forge or Kingston. I don't want to go anywhere else. And I'm looking at Wilkes-Barre places, and I'm looking here, looking there, and rents were crazy. People were photoshopping pictures of apartments.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's really bad.
Could you imagine walking into an apartment that looks beautiful in these pictures? You're like, wow, this looks great.
And
this
awful.
This be worth the price. Then you walk in there and the rooms are different because they angled them in the pictures, and they're like, they call you up. Oh yeah, I'm in New York right now. You go take a look. The door's open. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple of times. One of the apartments I went to look at when I first graduated from college, like the pictures of it made it look like really nice. And
crazy.
I went to go see it, and it's exactly as you're describing, where they were like, doors open, just go in. And it was so tiny. It was like a closet of an apartment.
How much was it? $1,000.
At least, yeah.
Everything included, $1,000. I saw a place over in Wilkes-Barre. It was an old school. I'm like, oh wow, this is interesting. It was on, I forget what street it was on. It was an old school, and I walk in. We go downstairs, and all I smell is cat piss. And we walk in, and no power on.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they made it look on the picture was it was 3 rooms: kitchen, living room, bedroom. But you go in, it's 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Kitchen, living room, all together. And the heating sources was just air conditioners. Those were the heating sources. I go to, you put a light on? No. So they didn't really speak English that well, which is fine. You know what I mean? I just don't speak Spanish that well. And it's like, I'm like, it smells. And she's like, I'm like, I go, mau mau, stinks. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, then she showed me the one upstairs that had more windows. It actually wasn't that bad, but it was too expensive for what it was. Basically, it was a 2-bedroom, but in reality, it was a 1-bedroom with a kitchen, living room, and bedroom. So that wasn't the worst. It was big windows. It was a little spacious, but it was way too much. It was like $1,400 and included everything.
Yeah,
but again, the heating and air conditioners were just big air conditioning units in the windows.
They really try to stretch the square footage of apartments.
Jesus. I watched some videos on YouTube about like New York apartments, stuff like that. Holy shit. Yeah. This kitchen would cost $2,000 a month. And they would say it's a 2-bedroom. Yeah. I couldn't imagine living in New York City.
No. I lived on Bennett Street for a little while too, and that was, I think, $1,100.
Yeah, we were just in Philadelphia, and my buddy James was there for the first time. He's like, wow, he goes, Philadelphia is a really sad city. I'm like, you were on 3 blocks of it. It's a very historic city.
Yeah.
Get me all fired up. Anyways, where'd you go to college?
I went to Luzerne County Community College for 2 years, and then I went to Kutztown.
Would you go for business?
I went for graphic design.
Graphic design?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what got you involved into graphic design? What made you do that?
When I was growing up, my parents had their own businesses, so they were always doing their own marketing and their own designs. So I would kind of sit over my dad's shoulder.
Nice.
And I would watch him try to make a business card or something or make a logo, and I'd be like, well, you can move that there. Or you could use a different shape for this.
It's fun, right?
Yeah. So I was backseat driving his designing.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when I went to community college, I decided I was going to do graphic design because I like to make things look pretty.
That's nice. I like that. I enjoyed making my new food fight sign.
Yes.
On Canvas is great. Canvas is fantastic. And just get creative there. Next thing you know, 3 hours go by.
Yeah.
And it's just, so I went to school for marketing. And you ever watch the show Mad Men? So I went to school back in like, I went to college like 03 or 04, whatever. I graduated in 09 from Penn State. But I went to college despite, I was going out with somebody at the time. My parents thought I was a deadbeat. I'm 21, 22. I'm just trying to enjoy. I'm just trying to party up. I'm working, you know what I mean? Well, whatever. They were crazy. I go, you know what? Fuck them. I'll go to college just to spite them.
Yeah.
So I enrolled into college, and then we broke up. I was like, well, it's too late now. So I'm going to go to college now. Went to Lackawanna for 2 years, and I went to Penn State. But I thought going into school for marketing, I would come out of Mad Men. Not realizing that, one, advertising firms aren't really like that around this area. There's not many around this area to begin with. So I was like, okay, whatever. Right? So, but then, my backstory is my backstory. I graduated school. I stayed in the restaurant business for a long time. But now, me and Mike are doing our advertising business now. Now I get to do that. I get to be a Mad Men. You know what I mean? And I get to design stuff like this. My buddy Josh Anderson and Mike Resnick, they designed the Food Fight logo for me, and it's been a big hit. Josh runs the tattoo parlor, Black Fuse Gallery, and it's just designing stuff is amazing. You tattoo fan?
I like tattoos. Yeah.
I'm a tattoo procrastinator. I want more. I just never get them. Mike, you have any tattoos, Mike?
Nope.
So fucking body's full of them. Anyways, back to the tea.
Yes.
All right. Tea has a history stretching back thousands of years. According to legend, tea was discovered in 2737 BCE by the Chinese emperor Xin Nong when leaves from a wild tea plant accidentally blew into his pot of boiling water. How about that?
Incredible.
We were saying earlier, stuff has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Stuff has to start somewhere. If you imagine that the fact that, what's this in my water? You know what I mean? I wonder what kind of tea it was. Do you know what kind of tea it was?
Very likely it was a white or a green tea.
It just flew in there, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I wonder how. I didn't look too much more into it. I wonder how after that, did he share it with people? Did he keep it for himself? Did he go out there and find out what tree it was?
I would imagine he would have had to share it with people.
Sooner or later.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. I wonder how that went down. So tell us about Teasperience and the hospitality group that you currently work for or work with, or
both.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say it right. Okay. Coupier Hospitality Group.
Copymore. Yes.
Oh yeah. What did I say? I'm looking right at it. Yeah. Tell us all about that, please. I know it's your business, and that's why we're here today. I want to hear all about it. Why we let our tea percolate there.
So Copiamore Hospitality Group grew out of Abide Coffee House.
Okay.
Everything grew out of Abide Coffee House. So we started out just doing marketing and design and trying to build up the coffee shop. And in the process of doing that, we started selling tea because people were interested in buying the teas that we had behind the bar. They would drink them and then they would say, I want to take this home so I can have it at home. Started with the coffee shop. We started selling tea. The tea eventually grew too big to be running it out of the coffee shop. And in the span of like a month, we went from it would be really nice to have a retail space to we have a retail space. And it was a solid 2 weeks after New Year's that we were putting together furniture and painting the space and getting it ready to open. Originally, we had aimed for mid-February, and Austin, my boss, was gone for 2 weeks in January, and I was like, I'll just open.
Did you just recently open the space?
Yeah, we opened the second or third week of January.
Oh, that's congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. But let's back up just real quick. Where is the coffee shop at? Is it in Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah, 23 West Market Street in Wilkes-Barre.
Looks beautiful.
Thank you.
That looks really, really nice.
We try to make it really cozy and kind of rustic, and
yeah, it's definitely really, really nice in there.
it's like a third. What is it called? Third space. The kind of space you don't feel like you have to spend money. You can go and hang out and just kind of exist.
I like that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. People just sit in there, do stuff with their tablets, right?
Yeah, people will read, people will work, do projects, crochet.
I wonder if people write off Starbucks as their office.
It would be interesting if they tried to.
You could use your home as like you could claim your house as an office for like I don't know a certain percentage for the year.
Yeah, but you also own that or rent that. You don't rent Starbucks.
It's true. It's a good point. It's a good point. I wouldn't rent Starbucks. I wouldn't rent Starbucks anyway.
No.
So I'm a big fan of all the local coffee shops that we have in the area because you know why? The commercial ones they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You turn your corner, Starbucks, Dunkin'. Tell you why, you know who's fighting? You know who's another true food fight in the area? Curry fucking Donuts. What a classic place. They all look the same. They have never been remodeled.
No.
They look like the same they did in the 80s. And they do now, 40-some years later.
The color scheme is definitely from the 80s.
Yeah. And it's just, it's working for them. It's working for them.
I'm honestly surprised they're still alive.
Why do you say that?
They've been there for so long, and I feel like I've seen so many of them close. And they turn into like a Dunkin' or something.
The ones on Wyoming Avenue are just so successful.
I know.
There's tons of them.
Been there forever.
The first one starts off over, I think, West Pittston. You come over the bridge by A&A there. There's one there. And then we come up. We got one over here, right down the street here in Kingston.
Yep.
And there's another one.
In the shopping center.
Where in the shopping? Is there another one down there?
Where Price Chopper is, there used to be one.
Okay, I don't think it's there anymore.
It might not be.
And there's one down headed towards the end of Wyoming Avenue. Larksville.
Yeah.
The Larksville Diner is just sitting there empty. You ever see it there when you drive by it?
Yeah, I have.
That's sad. I wonder how that place was. How do you drink your coffee?
Generally I drink my coffee with creamer. If I'm drinking hot coffee, I will drink it with creamer.
Just creamer?
Yes.
No milk though. Creamer, half and half.
I'll do like a flavored creamer.
Okay.
Like a vanilla.
Vanilla's good. Hazelnut's good too.
Hazelnut, I love hazelnut.
They have to be the right. Some flavored creamers just have an awful aftertaste.
Yeah.
Just an awful aftertaste. Oh,
I try to go for the basic ones because some of the more complicated flavors are just really gross.
Yeah, I don't really care for that. So tell us, what kind of marketing did you do for the tea to take off? What kind of interest was coming into the coffee shop and constantly asking for tea? We have to have some tea. Let's have some tea. When you first opened the coffee shop, was there any tea in there, or was it strictly coffee shop?
When it first opened, we had tea, but we didn't have like any sort of fun flavors. It was kind of just like the basic teas. And then we started having people ask for like maybe like a fruit tea or something fancier. And we would start to get in more of those. And then we started doing holiday teas. And we went from just having teas behind the bar to serve to having like all of these extra teas that like, especially if it's a holiday tea, it's really hard to sell outside of the season. But we figured out that we were able to jar our teas and kind of launch this through the coffee shop so that it would have all of the backing of the coffee shop.
What a perfect place to start a different beverage when it comes to like that same lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, do you see a lot of people that will mix it up? One day they'll have coffee, one day they'll have tea, or are people coffee drinkers, tea drinkers, just like people are Abe's the one and only, and Abe's on Barney Street.
Yeah, it's generally two camps. So if you drink tea, you drink tea. If you drink coffee, you drink coffee. I'm somewhere in the middle. I like coffee. I like tea. Depends on my mood.
How much coffee a day you drink? How many cups?
Like one.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I used to be a caffeine junkie. Red Bulls. And then I discovered, you go to Aldi at all?
Mm-hmm.
So Aldi had their Red Bull energy drink. It was there was like Red Thunder, it was called.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day, we're going back, maybe even like not even about 5 years ago, it used to be $2.39 for a 4-pack. Think about that. Red Bulls used to cost $2 a piece.
That's insane.
And I have OCD. So I would just be like, let me just buy a whole bunch of them. And I would have like 100 of them in my pantry. And I would drink 3 or 4 of them a day. It was just so awful. Now it's been years. I make an espresso in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I froth up the milk. I put 3 Stevias in there. That's only coffee I have a day.
See, caffeine was never addictive to me. So I just drink coffee because I like the taste of it.
Yeah. No, I used to drink black coffee for a while. I became a real big black coffee fan. But I'm not big into caffeine. You don't really need it. If you feel a little tired throughout the day, have a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Do anything else.
More than likely, you're dehydrated. That's what happens when you have and then people who drink. I used to work at the casino, and we had a Monster Energy drink place in the vending machine in our dining room, and we get a break every hour, right? I'd watch the same person get a Monster every hour or every other break. Imagine drinking 6 full-size Monster Energy drinks in the span of 20 minutes. 2 cigarettes, going back to work, and then needing another one 2 hours later. Like, it didn't do anything to me. No, it's that constant crash.
I would be seeing sound.
Yeah. It's just that constant crash over and over and over and over again, It's just, I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. I am getting thirsty, though.
I had the same thought.
Is it time for some tea?
It sure can be.
I can smell it. It smells good. Mike, you want some tea?
No, thank you.
No, herbal tea doesn't get bitter the same way that black tea does. So it doesn't really matter if we let it sit.
That does look like blood orange.
It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, it is. Me and Mike are doing hot dog reviews. I don't know if you've seen them. Abe's.
I haven't seen them, but
Abe's on Barney Streets. Abe's the one and only.
Yeah.
Ferris's, and then there's more Abe's. So I was watching the video on YouTube last night. Now, I see hot dog videos now all the time on YouTube now. So it's across the screen. But they were talking about like Red Hots. Red Hots are like this color. Imagine eating a hot dog that looks like it looks pink.
Very unnerving.
We going in?
Sure.
Cheers. We have to make the noise when you drink the tea, right?
Sure.
That is really good.
It is a very nice light tea.
The teacup is perfect too. It's angled perfectly for me to sip.
I like the shape of that one specifically.
Tell us a little bit about the cups, about the china that we're drinking out of.
So
here.
I believe,
please.
I don't know about these two, but these are Royal Albert. They're all
tea is really good.
I'm so glad.
It'd be really good with some ice, a little bit of some iced tea, some ice, and a little bit of like an orange slice into it.
We have
holy shit.
Some like mocktail themed herbal tea. So there's like peach bellini, fuzzy navel, pina colada.
Fuzzy navel.
Fuzzy navel.
Real fast. That was the alcohol that my mother would give me like as a little kid. She'd make me a little fuzzy navel, a little peach schnapps. With the OJ, probably not too much when I was a younger kid, but just
a teeny bit.
But it was the best flavor. It's so good.
It's really.
I don't really drink a lot. Like I've been sober for a long time, but like I'm still sober off of like other drugs of choice.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I don't say I'm sober. Once in a while, I'll have a beverage.
Mhm.
I was in Las Vegas 2 years ago, and I had a fuzzy navel, and it was fucking fantastic. I don't
They're
care
good.
what they are really good. Anyways, please. So your fuzzy navel tea, I'll have to
Yes.
get some of that.
The peach Bellini one is really good too.
This actually wired me up a little bit. Like
The tea?
this woke me up. It cleared my nose, and it made me like it put me in a good mood. I was already in a good mood, but
It's also just the experience of drinking it out of a teacup. Like it makes everything better.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Tell you what, everything's working right now, so I'm excited. So it's really fun. So,
Yeah.
anyways, please, I
So-
interrupted you, which I do sometimes.
You're fine.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't remember these teacups or the teapot because this is a very specific brand.
Okay.
But these two little dishes, the sugar and cream containers, are Royal Albert bone china, and these are forget-me-nots. So that's what the pattern is called.
The pattern itself is called Forget-Me-Nots.
Yes, or it's called
Interesting.
Memory Lane.
Okay.
So every bone china teacup that comes out of a company has a pattern on it, and that pattern has a name. And when I first started collecting bone china, I was like, "There's no way that there's bones in this.
Is there bones in
There's
it?
bones in it. It's 30 to 50% bones,
Human bones?
cow bones.
Oh, it would have been more interesting with human bones.
I think that might be like a little bit illegal.
Probably. What is so again, Josh Balls has Strange Brew
Mhm.
down the street here. He has what did he say he has real there? Is it human bones? He has real human bones on display
Probably.
there? Or what skull?
Mhm.
He has real human skulls down there. And he goes, there's a process, a legal process to go through it.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a legal process to make, teacups out of human bones.
I'm sure that
People-
somebody's done
People
it.
donate. I donate my organs. I donate my bones to the tea organizations.
But they're made out of bovine bones, cow bones.
Wow, no shit.
30 to 50% of it is bone ash.
Is there a reason that they use that specifically?
Cow bones, I believe they use specifically because they're easy to get. They're plentiful based on how we've processed meat
Mhm.
for centuries. It's added to the ceramics so that they can get it thinner and more delicate and almost translucent.
Ah,
So, like,
okay.
if you're looking at it in the
Yeah.
light,
You
can
can
see
see
through
through
it.
it. Interesting.
so it's more delicate, it's a lot thinner. If you were to compare, like, one of these teacups to regular fine china, the
Mhm.
fine china is much thicker and heavier.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
So these are like super delicate.
Is there a specific reason, or if you remember from learning about tea, and we can even look it up, because I'm curious myself. I also want to look up on eBay to see what the most expensive tea set is. It's
Okay.
probably crazy. out there.
Yes, yeah,
Just
for
like-
sure.
You ever look? Are you a Star Wars fan?
No,
No. Anyways, Star Wars, old original Star Wars Lego stuff, like the original Death Star, as big as this kitchen, thousands and thousands of dollars this shit goes for. People love that stuff.
yes, any old Lego,
Yeah.
any discontinued
Yeah,
Lego.
there's, I
especially.
grew up with Legos.
I love
Police
Legos.
station. We're going back to the 80s for me, right? How old are you? Don't mind me asking.
I'm 25.
Okay, so you weren't around in the 80s.
No.
Not yet anyways, right? So, but back in the day, I used to get like 3 or 4 sets for Christmas.
Mhm.
And I'd just be putting them together. And my mother would be like, okay, time to go to church. Why do we go to church once a year? And why's it gotta be on Christmas morning, I'd be in church just thinking about my Legos. And the police station, the fire station.
Yeah.
I used to be up these Matchbox cars. That was just so much fun.
I grew up building Legos and I had those
What
sets.
a blast.
What I noticed over the years is that the sets have gotten smaller and less detailed.
Everything has. Just like Tasty. You Tasty Cake fan?
Hmm.
It was so much smaller now.
Yeah.
We're reviewing them. We're reviewing them last episode, and it was just like Mike's like, I never realized how much smaller they were. Now that you're talking about, like the crimpet, big as my finger.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should have a crimpet with our tea. Do you know why? I'm guessing we're going back to the 1700s in America. Anyway, they're probably even further back in
Mhm.
England. I would think that the China sets were look at the prestige of it.
Yeah.
Made them look super fancy, super expensive. Everything was about perception back then.
Yes, it was very much a luxury to have beautiful fine china that was, rimmed in gold and very delicate.
I'll have a refill if you're
Sure.
if you're filling it back up. That's really good. So saying about that, the prestige back in, I would love to, I wouldn't want to live back in the colonial days. I couldn't imagine the sanitary practices
No.
back then, but fascinating though. I love watching old movies. I love watching old history. Was there the poor person's tea and the rich person's tea?
For sure.
You know, what was the poor person's tea? Was it like the scraps?
I don't know for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
I can tell you that tea was very much initially like a rich person thing because it was being imported from China and India.
Mm.
So it was really like just high society sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is where all of the bone china and all of the nice accessories came from.
I read that India was one of the first countries after the discovery of China to get tea. And that tea is what made India. It grew their country.
Yeah.
Tea was it's just amazing that it's just, you know, what's the modern day tea? What do you think the modern equivalent of tea is now? That makes sense coming out? Like if tea shaped the world back then for all those years,
Yeah.
what would you think was the next thing that shaped the world as well? Food-wise. I mean, there's a great show on TV called Foods That Built America. It's on the History Channel. That's where we're getting ideas to do for the PA foods. I'm fascinated by it. People love it. So like there's so many different foods that, you know, help shape. Think about how pizza shaped this country.
There's a lot of foods that are like that.
What comes to mind? Why have some more tea?
I don't know why this is the first thing that comes to mind, but foie gras.
What's that?
Foie gras. It's duck liver.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like the super bougie, like French, very high class sort of dish.
Never had it before.
I've never had it either.
I've had duck meat.
I've had snails.
I never had snails.
Snails are the worst.
Duck meat's delicious.
That I can agree with.
It's greasy.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. How could you eat that? The same way you eat the meat from the cow. You know how many cows? I'm like, I didn't do it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no
emotion.
emotional attachment there.
If the cows had a choice, they would eat us too.
Yeah.
Sorry, but this is a food fight. If you want to argue with me, you know, with your soybeans, knock yourself out. I had to go to the bathroom just thinking about that. High soy protein. Oh my God, I cannot do it. So you have partners, right? In your Teasperience. Tell us about your partners.
So Austin Shishin owns Abide Coffee House. He also is the overarching owner of Copymore Hospitality Group, which is the coffee shop, the tea shop, Abide. I forget what the name of it. I forget what we called it, but we have a nonprofit that benefits the area.
We'll circle back to that, please. But continue, yeah.
And then Abide Grounds, which is our online coffee e-commerce.
How's that do?
It does pretty good.
People love fucking coffee.
People love coffee.
Jesus Christ, people love coffee.
We've shipped all over the country.
It's a crazy coffee out there. It's like triple X, something like that, like super high dose caffeine. So they grow the beans to be super high caffeinated, or they add something else to it.
I'm not sure.
It's curious.
I know more about tea than I know about coffee.
Good. We're gonna stay on subject. Then don't over caffeinate yourself. Don't over caffeinate yourself. Genoa Wholesale Foods, supplying quality since 1947. For over 75 years, Genoa Wholesale Foods has been your trusted partner for premium food supplies. Specializing in services to pizzerias, Genoa also caters to restaurants, bakeries, delis, and bars throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. They proudly offer a blend of both private label and national brands, helping you find the perfect products to meet your restaurant needs. With local deliveries and the care of a family-owned business, they are committed to making your success their priority. Choose Genoa Wholesale Foods for reliable, top-quality restaurant supplies that keep your business running smoothly. Genoa Wholesale Foods, locally owned and operated for 3 generations. Call Genoa today at 570-823-6142 or visit them online at www.genoafoods.com. Looking for the perfect grooming experience for your pup? Welcome to Carly's Fairy Tale Dog Grooming, located at 8 North Main Street in Pittston. We offer boutique-style grooming with a focus on quality over quantity. Your furry friend will enjoy a cage-free, stress-free environment where they will feel comfortable and pampered. At Carly's, we make sure every dog leaves feeling and looking like royalty. Call 541-410-9582 or stop in today to book your appointment at Carly's Fairy Tale Dog Grooming. So the hospitality group, all 3 places, how long has that been in existence for? What started the bid? Was the first coffee shop? Was that the start of it?
The coffee shop and I think the nonprofit were the start of it because we do.
Slurping all day on the show today. Sorry.
We do our Back to the Grind festival every year. We've done it for the last 2 years.
Back to the Grind. That can mean a couple things.
Yeah, it's usually the first or second weekend of October.
Where do you have that?
On the square.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll definitely come check it out this time around. I'm getting more embedded into the valley stuff that goes down here. It's every year I do a little more of this. Like the festival, like the Chicken Wing Festival, the Polish pierogi festival.
Pierogi festival is great.
Kielbasi festival got crazy rained out last year. I was down there by the dam, by the airport. Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden the sky opened up, and it was just all down there. Anyways, I apologize. I interrupted again. Tell us more about the nonprofit.
So the nonprofit is the arm that helps us do like our Abide Cares packages and stuff. So we have an online form where if somebody that you know is struggling or like somebody just needs a treat, you can fill out the Abide Cares form. You don't have to give us any information.
Okay.
And then we'll send them a care package, essentially.
So you're just helping people that are in need.
Yes.
Need more for comfort or just any situation they may be going through.
Any situation.
So they just reach out and say, I'm on the bus today. I just gotta help me out. I love that.
Yeah, anything like if you're struggling, you can fill out the form. We send out, I believe it's like 1 or 2 a week.
It's great to give back. It really is, and opening yourself up for that too. You know, you never know who really needs. But I always say this too. Like sometimes I see the guys standing up by the mall in the middle of the road with the sign. You know, people say, "Oh, they're scammers." Hey, you know what? The guy that stands there with different clothes on every day, maybe he is scamming, but maybe he really needs $1.
Yeah.
And if I have it in the car and I'm right next to him, I'm going to give him one. You never know who needs help, and you know, even if they might be scamming us or whatever, what if they don't?
Yeah.
What if they really need? What if they really need help? And it's just helping people. Another reason why I'm very open with my. You talked about your nonprofit now, so you got my mind thinking about this, like this giving back, and I'm really grateful to still be here and be able to do what I'm doing now compared to where I was 10 years ago when I changed my life. But people gave me a second chance. People were there for me when I was struggling.
Yeah,
and it's so important to know that there's people there that care about you and want to help you through something, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
no matter what it is, whether you're struggling in a class in school, or you're dealing with, you know, relationships or family or something like that, we always need something. My counselor in rehab said to me something before I was leaving. He goes, Brian, problem for me might not be a problem for you, but it's still a problem for me. Basically what that means, and what I took that is people minimize their issues for other people's issues.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going through a lot worse, so I shouldn't feel bad about what I'm going through. No, absolutely not. You have to worry about what you're going through. You got to take care of yourself first. And that's not being selfish. It's not. And it might seem that way or come off that way initially, but until you really break it down, for you to help somebody else, you got to be the best version of yourself first. And I really, really believe that. I learned that in sobriety, that once I get myself right, then I can help other people. I can't give people advice when I can't follow my own advice. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. And I kind of resent growing up with the messaging of like, well, there's starving kids in other parts of the country. Like, yes, there is. But that doesn't minimize anything that anybody else is going through.
Exactly. And people are going through a lot these days. And the more the community's involved in helping people, things that you guys do, things that Food Fight does, and there's so many other great people that are on social media that just want to help and not spread negativity around, because I hate that shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the way to be. And that seems to be harder to gain traction than being a dick.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
People are like, oh, you should give bad reviews. Your page will blow up. Yeah, but I'm not going to sleep well at night.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna see. I don't want that. I
That's
had
not the
one
point.
guy DM me once about something I said about his place, and it wasn't even that bad. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this because now the whole night I'm waiting for him to get back to me.
Yeah.
It's like TikTok all over again.
Yeah.
You know. Speaking of that, social media.
Yes.
How's your social media presence with your tea?
It's been good. It's been growing. We pretty much just started it 6-ish months ago.
Okay,
So we've had about 100 followers a month.
that's healthy growth.
Yes.
Healthy growth right
Yeah.
there.
So we've been trying to kind of keep the coffee shop aesthetic and the tea shop aesthetic the same. We have Katie, who's our wonderful photographer. She does amazing photos.
That's great.
All the stuff that's
Yeah,
on
the photos look really good.
they're beautiful.
Photos look really good. That's good growth. 600 in
Mhm.
6 months ago. That's
Yeah.
good. But my food production page is about Instagram's tough.
Mhm.
Instagram's tough. It's a tough animal.
It is.
Well, if you post constantly, consistently, I try to find the right times. You know, like I posted a reel today. What time? I posted a reel today. You know, sometimes they just don't do well.
It's tough.
Instagram is fickle.
It's especially bad when you're like selling tickets to something.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned about people in this area is that they're last minute.
Yes.
They will not commit to
Yeah.
anything ahead of time.
Yeah. I used to build up my episodes for the podcast a couple of days before it was released.
Mhm.
So it gets a lot of traction, but then are they remembering to tune in on Thursday morning?
No.
So now I'm just start advertising it after it comes out on Thursday morning. But then, you know, I was posting, I still think, you know, I posted the Linktree link in the comments.
Mhm.
I still think it's making Facebook hold it back because they don't want you clicking off Facebook.
Yeah.
And that link's gonna make them click off Facebook. Even though it's in the comments, I still fucking think they're holding me back.
Yeah.
Because my posts do really well, but for some reason, when I start talking about the podcast and mention, if I just make a post saying, "Hey, this is my guest today," blah blah blah, it does like a normal Facebook post. But once you start talking about logging off of Facebook, I'm convinced they hold us back. Says they don't, but I'm convinced that they do. So,
Yeah.
I'm convinced that they do. You said you're having trouble on TikTok.
Yeah.
What struggles are you having? What TikTok
It's
almost got banned?
Yeah, it did.
Almost got. You received. There was fucking people that are huge TikTok influencers and just random stuff, beauty or whatever kind of crazy
Mhm.
shit, right? And there was a handful of people who came on there and said the last day, and they made videos saying like, just so you just know, I don't eat all the food in my reviews, or I don't really buy all the makeup.
Some of them were like small and silly, like, yeah, we know you don't eat all of this food.
Yes.
And some of them were like their entire brand.
It was bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened 24 hours later? Everything's back. And then you see in retraction videos,
Mhm.
I was just joking. I was just joking.
like-
Bitch, no, you weren't.
You just destroyed your entire brand for fun.
I'm just waiting to get monetized. I just got 2,000 followers on there. So I'm just trying to get monetized on there. But it does well. Consistently, you got, like I said earlier, you got to get those 3 to 6 second, get them in there, get them engaged.
Yeah.
You know? And not lie about your whole platform like these bozos. That
Yeah.
absolutely cracks me up. But it looks like it's here to stay for the time being anyways. So if I got a new phone and it didn't transfer over, I couldn't download it in the App Store. Is that what's going on with
I
TikTok
believe-
right now?
I believe that that's the situation where if you have it, you can keep it, but you can't download it.
So there's
new.
no new. So United States is getting no new TikTok users.
Correct.
Huh? No shit. Well, you don't know what's good though. People are coming over to Facebook more.
Yeah, but it's
Come on over to Facebook. Come on over to Facebook. My Food Fight page does great on Facebook.
That's good.
You know, you have to have a combination of everything on Facebook.
Yeah.
Videos and posts, engaging posts.
Yeah. And
I
then
post like 3 times a day on my Food Fight page sometimes.
the demographic is definitely
Mhm.
older
Yeah.
too. Between Facebook and Instagram, Facebook is older and Instagram is younger.
So Instagram, I do the Instagram pages for Good Tree MMA Wilkes-Barre Gym.
Mhm.
We also have one in Dunmore, Good Tree MMA, 2 locations for all your MMA needs. All right. But I do the social media for the Wilkes-Barre page, and Instagram does tremendously better than Facebook. Same posts, same time.
hmm
You get a couple thousand views on the reels on Instagram, a couple hundred on Facebook. But flip-flop that from my food page. I get thousands, a couple 100,000 views from my food page, my food stuff on Food Fight on Facebook, and then a fraction of that on Instagram.
Yeah, the social media algorithm will not ever make sense to
Yep,
me.
and it keeps changing.
Mhm.
And there's more. They're saying hashtags do not matter anymore on Instagram. The CEO
Which is-
himself, the CEO himself said that.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
Why
he's
would
like-
you admit that?
They said it doesn't matter. The algorithm doesn't care about them. But then they're like, doesn't hurt to do it though. Well, it doesn't hurt to do it. Does it make it better to do it?
If it doesn't hurt to do it, then it's making an impact.
Crazy. But
Yeah.
there's a couple of people I follow on YouTube. I watch their stuff on there. So what more can you tell us about Teasperience? I mean, what I mean to say is, where could people come experience it? Where could they order it online? And how does the whole process work?
So if you want to come in store, we're at 900 Rudder in the massive, very colorful, eccentrically decorated building.
Okay.
Um,
Rudder Street's the main street right over here, right?
Around the
This-
corner,
This is
yeah.
Rudder over here.
It's like down. There's like the weird intersection where you're gonna go get on the Cross Valley.
Oh yeah.
You just go a little bit past that.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I understand. You're in the plaza, that beautiful that big building over there.
There's two plazas over there.
Okay, there's plazas.
There's like the medical plaza.
Okay.
And then across the street there's 900 Rudder, which is connected to Shifts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just Shifts for the first time last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like a blast from the past in there.
It's so much bigger than I thought it was.
Shifts,
Yeah.
they have good prices.
Mm-hmm.
I found some chocolate chip mint tasty cakes there. I didn't buy them though. I don't know why I didn't buy them. You know why I didn't buy them?
Why?
I ate the whole box. Ate the whole box.
That's fair.
So what are your hours over there at Teasperience?
Monday, no, not Monday. Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And then Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Awesome. Tell everybody, let's get into it. When we started the show off with it, and we were going to detour back into it, the process of making the tea, like the tea. You make the teas every day. How long do they last? How long will this tea last for once we open the container?
So tea is dried. It will last pretty much indefinitely. It will lose flavor over time.
It won't spoil,
No,
just like honey.
honey.
Honey lasts forever.
Honey does last forever.
Mhm.
It'll crystallize, but it'll
It'll
last forever.
Yeah, it will still be good. Yep. Got a couple beekeepers that train at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll last forever.
So it doesn't really go bad. A lot of the teas that have dried fruit in them, some of them are freeze dried fruit. This is just regular dried fruit. The freeze dried fruit, like what's in here, will occasionally go.
Which tea is that?
This is strawberry lemon.
Okay, that's your favorite, you said,
Mhm.
right?
The freeze dried fruit will occasionally go a little bit sticky just from humidity in the air, but
Okay.
it'll last quite a while. Not that it'll need to last that long based on how much you drink tea, but from the big jars we can get, depending on how strong you like your tea, I think like 80 cups
Okay. 80 cups out of,
out of a jar, out of a big jar.
that's a lot of tea.
Yeah, so we have little baby jars that are really popular as like samplers, so that
Okay.
you can kind of see like if you like a tea.
I like that too. That's nice.
And then we have a medium-sized jar for if you like that tea, but you kind of don't want to commit. And then we have our really big jars.
What's the price points on these jars here?
So the big ones are $16.
Okay.
The medium ones are 10 and the little ones are 6.
If you're a tea drinker, that seems pretty fair.
Yes.
What sets tea like this apart from, your Lipton tea bag at the store? Most people listening, I
I'm
would think,
So glad you asked.
are people that like myself,
Mhm.
who I go on there, I just buy, I go to Wegmans and I get the organic, mint tea bags, and they do the trick for me.
Mhm.
Are they cheap? Are they quality product? Is it in the middle? Is it just manufactured? What's the difference? Where's the fine lines with those?
So generally the grocery store teas are cheap or middle grade.
Mhm.
The process that they use to create the tea for tea bags in grocery store teas is called CTC, which is cut, tear, something else.
TCE, cut,
CTC.
TTC.
I can't remember the third word, but it's cut, tear, something. And it makes the little pebbly sort of sandy almost
Yes.
tea that's like in bags.
Mhm.
They do it that way because it's easy and it's fast and it produces the best flavor for the kind of tea bags that they have. But it's not a good tea. Like I don't know if you've ever ripped open a grocery store tea bag.
Oh yeah.
It
Or it
just
accidentally falls apart.
yeah, and it just looks like sand.
It does.
And
Is it healthy? Is it are you still getting the benefits from it? Like if I have a mint tea from the supermarket,
yeah, you'll still get the benefits from it and
am I
everything.
getting more benefits from this mint tea?
Very likely. It's the way that it's processed in the grocery store, it's generally a weaker tea.
Okay.
So you have to use more of it to get the flavor that you want in the first place. When you're using a full leaf tea and you're steeping it in a strainer or in a tea bag, you're getting a lot more flavor and a lot more of the benefits out of the full leaf.
I understand. I get that. I don't know if I could go back to regular tea now.
You shouldn't.
I don't think I should. I don't think I should. I want to get some homemade tea bags there, fill it up, make some mint tea, and my belly would never hurt again.
Solve all your problems.
Well, you fascinated me with the history of tea that we talked about, and then your company, which is just off to a great start.
Mhm.
And I wish you best of luck with all that. We'll have everything on the screen. We'll have everything in the comments as far as how they can come and reach you and come get some tea, some coffee, some tea. You can order online as well. I have
Yes.
some closing questions for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food,
I know your favorite tea is strawberry
strawberry
Lemonade.
lemonade.
Strawberry
My favorite
lemonade.
food is probably mac and cheese.
mac and cheese. Anyone specific, or you just like give me a box of the powdered cheese?
Um.
Do you steep that?
Oh God.
God, can you
That,
imagine that?
I mean, okay, that's basically ramen. Ramen is basically tea to a certain point.
Oh yeah.
Um.
I just saw a video of people looking into ramen under a microscope, and there's little bugs on it.
ugh.
But most of the comments were like, "Boil it up."
Yeah, still gonna eat it.
All right, so your favorite food is mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't think there's any specific restaurant around here that I would say that I like it from, but there's a Food Network chef that I grew up with, Alton Brown.
Okay.
He has a delicious stovetop mac and cheese recipe that I swear by.
God, I love mac and cheese. I ate mac and cheese at Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares restaurant.
hmm
Amazing.
When I was in Boston last with my partner, we went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, and
Which one? Was it the Hell's Kitchen or?
it was on Boylston Street. I don't remember what the name of it was.
He's a few different ones. I was wondering if you wanted his Hell's Kitchen themed one.
I don't think it was the Hell's
Oh, it's
Kitchen one because
amazing.
this one was like super high end.
Oh,
and, like,
okay.
very
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice. And my partner got beef Wellington, which was amazing.
I had the beef Wellington. I don't know if it's the same in each restaurant.
Mhm.
Holy shit, though!
It's
Oh
incredible.
my god, it was so good. It was so good.
I had the fish and chips, and even that
I
was
bet
like
that was great.
it was so
I bet that was
good.
great. He has a restaurant, is like Ramsey's Fish and Chips. There's actually a place that's actually called that. All right, so mac and cheese is a good choice.
Yes.
What would be your last meal? You were part of the Boston tea. You were the one dumping the
Mhm.
tea in the water.
hmm
So now they're gonna put you up there and pull the plug. So you get one last meal though, but not colonial food back in the day. The
Do I
real
get like a lot of food?
final meal. We'll see if we can meet your requests. I've only turned down
Ugh.
I've only turned down a couple requests.
I would say, margaritas and tacos from a restaurant in Boston called Lolita.
Well, you're the first one to add a drink to it.
Yeah.
So margarita and tacos
Yes.
from that place?
Yeah.
All right, we can ship them in.
They have the best tequila.
Tequila was my last liquor I got drunk off of 10
Mhm.
years ago. Blacked out. I took a shot at the Molinari Lodge. Took a shot, blacked out, woke up in jail. True story.
Amazing. Their tequila is so good. They do this thing where they give you like a palate cleanser that is grapefruit granita, just
Okay.
frozen grapefruit juice.
Mhm.
And they will pour just a straight shot of tequila on top of it. And usually, if you're going to take a shot of tequila, it's going to burn.
Yeah.
But this tequila doesn't taste like alcohol. It's
Interesting.
so smooth.
Maybe you almost make me want some. Almost make me want some.
It's delicious.
We used to give sorbet. I used to work at a steakhouse. We used to give sorbet in between courses.
hmm
Clean the palate.
Palate
Just
cleanser.
give me the steak. Give me the butter. Last question. What food are you eating 24/7? Only one type of food you could eat the rest of your life.
Potatoes.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
It's the only choice.
It's a good choice. You get all your essential vitamins and minerals in there. How they cooked?
That's the great part about potatoes. You can cook them any way you
Well,
want. You
The
didn't say
great thing about this question is there's got to be a specific
Ah.
answer. Nice
Right,
try
fine.
though. Nice try though.
I thought I found a loophole.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. There was one loophole I allowed because it was a great answer. The person said Thanksgiving dinner. And I almost didn't allow it because there's more than one item. However, I love Thanksgiving dinner, so I made an exception. But you can't have potatoes 75 ways. You got to choose one specific way to eat your potatoes. It's
I
tough.
think I would do baked potatoes.
I feel like any way you make them, you're gonna get real sick of it fast.
Probably,
Yeah.
but
How about twice baked potatoes?
Twice baked potatoes would be so good. So good. Bacon,
I love twice baked
cheese.
potatoes.
Yeah.
I wonder who makes the best twice baked potato in this area. Not a big menu item.
It's not a big menu item.
It should be though. Imagine like those big ass Idaho potatoes are like this.
The
right?
massive ones.
The massive potatoes where like you see them on the commercials. Remember the potato commercials back in the day?
Mhm.
It would like unfold, the tinfoil will come off it, and then the skin will come off,
It's
and,
like
it'd be
massive-
fluff.
yeah.
It'd be like this. So I've seen people like there's places that have like baked potatoes and the baked potato topping tables.
Mhm.
Imagine that big ass potato turned into a twice baked potato.
That'd be so good.
Holy shit! It'd be like we talked about the tasty cakes, the crippets. So
Mhm.
the crippets were originally one big crippet, and the wife was like, "What if we cut that into handheld pieces?" That's how the crippet became as small as it is now.
I love that.
Even smaller now than it normally was.
Yeah.
It's half the size it used to be.
Mhm.
Half the size it used to be. Well, that's all my food questions. Is there anything that you would like the listeners to know about Teasperience before we head out?
I think my only thing is that if you want to purchase tea, you can purchase tea from teasperience.com.
Perfect. We'll put that up on the screen and also in the comments on our YouTube channel as
Can I
well.
also rep a coupon code?
Yeah, do whatever you absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mike, you listening? We're gonna need this up on the screen, Mike. Okay, we're getting Mike a microphone for next time. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I want him to chime in a little bit more with me,
Need the commentary.
screaming into the living room in there. You know? Yeah, please. What's the code?
If you go to teasperience.com and you use coupon code FOODFIGHT, you can get 25% off your purchase of tea.
That's a good coupon code right there.
Mm-hmm.
Food Fight. We'll advertise the shit out of that for you too. Food Fight. I might say that everywhere I go. I'm trying to get everyone to say it all the time. Mike's saying it all the time. People at the gym are saying it all the time. So that's great. Tea, 20% off. Food Fight, teasperience.com. Please see the link in the comments. And please, if you have any questions or comments about the tea, leave them in there and we're going to start a little conversation. All right? So, Rylee, thank you so much for coming on Food Fight, educating myself and my listeners and Mike as well on some tea. We got into a little bit of tea history. If anybody wants to challenge the true food fight being greater than the Boston Tea Party, I really can't think of too many items that cause that much ruckus
Yeah.
in the world. Think about that.
Yeah.
2 different continents getting all fired up over tea. They just need to have one big jiu-jitsu match back in the day and discover and figure out who it was, and it would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on Food Fight. I'm your host, Brian DiMattei. You can listen to Food Fight on Apple, Spotify. You can watch our video that is produced by my partner, Mike Rivera, on YouTube every Sunday morning. The new episodes will be out every Thursday morning. The audio will be released on Apple and Spotify. In the meantime, please enjoy the content on DiMattei's Food Fight Productions on Instagram, DiMattei's Food Fight on TikTok. I'm your host, Brian DiMattei. This is a Food Fight production. Awesome.